Welcome back. If you're new here, we're Shane and Amy. We sold our house and almost everything we owned, packed our bags, hopped on a plane, and headed to beautiful Guatemala to move onto our 50-year-old sailboat, Maverick.
We're out here. We did this.
Subscribe and come aboard to be a part of the journey. Who knows where it will take us? One of the biggest challenges with off-grid living, whether on land or the water, is the availability of safe, clean drinking water. If you have the ability to store larger amounts of water on your boat, there are great alternatives to expensive water makers that won't break the bank and can be installed easily at home as well. Maverick can hold 250 gallons of water, so we decided to purchase and try out one of those systems to find out if it will work for us.
So some of you may not know, but when I was in the Navy, I worked with water systems. I worked with reverse osmosis unit, and I also work with evaporators. So it's one of the systems that I kind of understand, and the reason that I chose this particular system is that it's tankless, so it's very small. It has, let me look in here, it has one filter. It's 6 stages, but it has one filter. Easy to change. You can see the different places where the water goes in, but it goes through 6 different filters inside of this one. For those of you that have a water maker out there, the membrane's expensive, and you either need to pickle it or store it for when you're gone. With us, we're sailing full time, but we're 6 months on, 6 months off, I guess, if you will, for right now. So it makes things a lot easier. All I have to do when I go back the next season is take a new filter with me. So why did I choose to go with something that is not a desalinator? Because this will not desalinate water. It will not take salt water and make it into fresh water. Maverick has 250 gallons of water on board, which is enough for us to live comfortably a month without getting more water or filling back up. And your other question might be, okay, well, if you're going to get water, you're going into the dock and you're going to fill it back up. Why do you need a filter? Well, it's easy to get fresh water, say in Guatemala, Belize, Mexico, but it may not be drinkable water. So a lot of times people will put a filter on before, you know, a 20 micron or a 5 micron, and although that takes out a lot of the particles and stuff, it's not going to take out bacteria, and you're still going to get sick. This here, we're using all the other water that's in the tanks in Maverick for doing our dishes, bathing, washing down everything, and that's fine. But drinking, it's not fine. So what we do is we use this only for drinking, and we can fill up our jugs. We can fill up an extra jug, put it aside, fill up a jug, and put it in the refrigerator. And that's why I think it's going to be perfect for us. So clearly right now, we're not on Maverick. So why did I get it here? Well, basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to test it in the house before I took it on Maverick. I don't see any problems at all, but I'm going to try and test, and I'm going to show you what total dissolved solids are in the water beforehand, and after it goes through the filter, what it'll do. Everybody who lives on a boat knows that one of the big questions is what your power consumption will be. So one of the things that I've got to test, and the reason that I've got it here in the house testing it, is I want to see what the draw is on this. It shouldn't be a big deal, to be completely honest, because I'm only going to be using this to actually do drinking water, so I'm not really desalinating all the water that's out there. But that's one of the things that I want to know, and that's one of the things I'm going to test and send on to you. right, so let's take a look at the components and how they go together. What they've got here is very, I don't want to say idiot-proof because I hadn't put it together yet, but they've got a red for a drain line, they've got a blue for the outlet, and they've got a white for the water inlet. Then over here, this appears to simply just plug into your water outlet, and you can plug it back into your sink where it is now, and you can plug the inlet water back in up here to feed your reverse osmosis unit. Then this looks like you can drill a hole in your drain, couple this around there, hook the drain to here, and it goes directly into your drain. Okay, let's see what this is, because I didn't open this yet. Okay. So this unit has its own faucet, so instead of coming out of our main faucet, it's going to come out of this, which is going to make it very convenient for drinking water. We know that only drinking water comes from this. We can use everything else for the cooking, the washing, cleaning, anything that we want to do, but this we're going to use solely for drinking water. It seems pretty simple, so let's kind of install it and see how it works. Actually,
Shelby, what do you think?
all right, so here I am in the kitchen, not in the galley. We are installing this reverse osmosis unit. So what I've got right here is I have disconnected my water line from the cold water inlet, and this is the T valve that comes with it. That's got a fitting that we can connect up the little white hose to, and then it also has the proper attachments to be able to change in case you've got different size pipe, which of course I do. So I do need the attachments. So I'm just going to install this right here, and then I'm going to install the white line on here, and it connects to the white line. We've got white, blue, and red back here. So that's the first thing. That is our water source. So they even provided us with some Teflon tape, which I'm sure has an end here. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to put that on the end, and this tape just goes on here to kind of fill in the threads so that it doesn't leak. I would say it's probably not necessary, but if you don't put it on, it's guaranteed to leak. Alright, I guess we can test that and see if it leaks. Alright, water's on, no leaks. It's actually got a little shut-off valve here, which is kind of convenient. Okay, here's something that's neat. They actually even have little marks to how far you have to push it into the fitting. Because sometimes it feels like it's in there and you pull back on it and it's not. But let's see how close that goes. I've got lots of tubing. I am not, oh, it goes right into the end. I'm not, however, going to cut it because I don't know how much I'm going to need on the boat.
It's true. Yeah.
Alright, so this one's a little bit different of a fitting. You push it on over the nipple, and then right here we use this to tighten down and clamp down on it. Okay. So I'm just cleaning this off with alcohol just because we've got a little sticker that goes on here that seals between the clamp for the drain. So I'm going to make sure it's clean as it can be. And I'm just putting that on before I drill, so I go through the exact right spot. That is in there. So the last outlet is going to require us to cut a hole up in the sink to put our faucet. Alright, so we've got the Waterdrop D3 installed. Looks a little busy back here, but basically I didn't want to cut things off because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it here or what I'm going to do with it. But we've got a white line, very simple, plugs into our cold water, goes into the filter, then it comes out of the filter, goes to this blue line. The blue line actually goes up to a water tap above that you get fresh water out, and then the red line is just a drain that cooks directly into your drain, and it's where it flushes and allows it out. So very easy install, took about 30 minutes probably to do it, and it's really simple to do. The idea that we're testing it here is to see if we can use this on the boat basically to be able to drink water from the tanks. This is a reverse osmosis unit, but it's not a desalinator. But in the Caribbean, you can get water pretty easily. You're getting water from Belize, Guatemala, Mexico, wherever else you go, and you're maybe not sure that it's got viruses in there or bacteria or something like that. Even if it's clean when you put it in, it's sitting in your tank for a while. So you want to be sure that when you're drinking it, that it's good water. And that is the whole idea behind doing this. You can get this for $199 on Amazon. So it's a very inexpensive option to be able to drink water directly from your tanks. All right, so this is the spout that I was talking about that connects to the blue line. So basically it comes from just your regular water, goes through the reverse osmosis unit. It's a 6-stage filter in the reverse osmosis unit, and then comes directly out through this tap. So you don't get it mixed up with which water. This is a drinking water. And then I'm going to fill this up. And we're going to take a look at and see how this compares to tap water and how it compares to bottled water. So we got a water tester that will test parts per million, and that's what we're going to look at right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I've got a water tester. It tests total dissolved solids. So it's going to test exactly what's in these 3 different glasses. What I've got is I've got tap water right here, good old drinking water right here from Denham Springs, Louisiana, good old USA. We got Ozark bottled water right here, and then over here we've got the D3 reverse osmosis water. One of the things that I do want to say, reverse osmosis, a lot of times people think reverse osmosis and desalination is the same thing. This is not a desalinator. So it doesn't have enough pressure on this thing to actually filter salt out of water. So it's really using potable water or fresh water and filtering that. So the first thing we're going to do is look at tap water here. So what does it show on there? 189. So it's 189 parts per million, which is actually not bad. Anything below 250 parts per million is actually great to drink. So here's bottled water. So we'll take a look at that. What does it show on there? Let's see. 24. So 24 parts per million is really good. Not anything wrong with bottled water there. And let's take a look at the reverse osmosis that came from the tap water. And it's 9 parts per million. So it took water that was, what did I say that was, Amy? I don't have a very, 189, and filtered out down to 9. And I've tested some of these, and it's been 6, 9, and the more that you actually let the filter run, the better that you're going to see it filter the things out. So this is really kind of a test that we put it here to be able to use it on the boat, because I think that in our situation we've got about 250 gallons in our water tanks. So if we fill up our water tanks, I feel pretty confident that we can just use this here for our drinking system. One of the things is that it's very difficult, probably as people know that are on boats, transporting water back and forth, transporting liquids back and forth. So there's a lot of weight. It takes up a lot of space on the boat. So if we can use the water that's actually in our tanks for drinking water, that's going to be a great advantage for us. Anyway, this is a way that I thought we would do it. It's $199 versus a water maker. If you're looking at a water maker, probably the minimum you can do a water maker for, unless you're going to build it yourself, is probably around $2,500. They go up to $25,000. I actually am going to do another video where I'm going to build one. I don't have one built yet, but I'm going to build one, and you can do it for around about $1,000 with all the parts. So it'll be interesting to kind of look at two different systems here. Any questions?
And the one you're building is going to desalinate salt water, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a desalinator. So the reason why I thought this would be a good option initially is without us really going offshore and needing to desalinate salt water, I thought this would probably be a really good option initially. But if you're like crossing the Pacific or in a place where you're not going to be around fresh water or have potable water readily available, then you're probably going to need a desalinator. That's an option, but it's going to take a lot more to build it and to kind of put it together. I am not putting it on the boat yet because it takes a little bit to build. It takes a little bit of time. We are home in Denham Springs, and when we go back down, I believe that this system will work perfectly for being around the Caribbean because there's readily available water. But if you're in a place that's off-grid or you can't get potable water, then you're going to need to desalinate water. And this is a great option. It's a way that you can take salt water and turn it into fresh water. Basically just through the same process that this D3 uses, except you're using a high pressure pump and it's forcing the water, the salt water, through a filter that filters out salt. Just like this is filtering water from here, getting the parts per million down lower. The only thing that the desalinator does is it actually takes the salt out of here. So it's a smaller filter and you're using a higher pressure pump to actually force the water through there, and it filters out salt. It'd be interesting to see if this will filter out salt. I think it will filter out salt, but I think what it'll do is it'll just clog the filter on there very quickly. So you'd be changing filters all the time. So you might be able to use it in an emergency, and I might actually just try and do that to see how long it'll take to clog up the filter. But the filter on the thing should last about a year, and they're only 99 bucks. So it's a really good way to use your water tanks and be able to drink from your water tanks, because most people won't drink from the water tanks. They'll pull on bottled water, or they'll boil the water that's on there. So this is a easier way. I would say the only reason that it might not be a good idea is if you've got water tanks that are smaller and you would continuously have to go in and fill it with water. That would be a particular reason that you might want to use a water maker versus just using a reverse osmosis unit that will filter the water through your tank. Okay, so that's the full review of the Watermaker D3. In the description below, you're going to see where you can get a 10% off code. When we get on the boat, I feel like it's probably going to be about the same, but the only issue for those of you that have a boat is power concerns. So I'll see exactly what this thing draws and how it'll work on the boat. But I feel it's a very good option, but I'll let you know that when we get on the boat. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments. Give me a like below. Also, tell me if you think it'll work on a boat. I think it's a good idea, but I haven't tried it yet. So let me know what you think. Also, if you want one of these, in the link in the description below, we've got a 10% off coupon. There's several of them on there. I just chose this one here because it was honestly the most inexpensive, and it does the same thing as the other one, except some of the other ones are faster. So maybe if you've got a family of 3, 4, 5, there's more people on the boat, you might want to choose one that's a little bit faster. What type of water do you think is best? Which one, Church?
As always, thanks for watching. Give us your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to join the GenXPats and get inspired to start your own adventure.